Hello, and welcome to your energy update for this week. We have a new moon in Capricorn today that, of course, is going to be impacting us all. This is when we plant seeds. This is when we begin to really start to make decisions and intentions on where it is, what we want to create over the next 30 days. Of course, we know that these cycles are more than 30 days. So we are approaching the 111 portal, which is going to be an opportunity for a massive timeline shift. So what we're in, the energy we're in this week is that we're going to need to continue to clear out any debris, any patterns, any habits, any energy essentially that cannot go with us to where it is that we are desiring to go. So I sense a lot of clarity coming in this week, a lot of sort of new truth revelations around patterns that you have had, starting to recognize, oh my gosh, I was doing that and I didn't even realize I was doing that. That sort of energy coming in. So we began with the Four of Scrolls. We've got a lot of purple, so higher conscious sort of energy coming in. I'm feeling a lot around the throat chakra right now. We've got, the angel wings transformation, so a lot of healing, a lot of transformation, and we have the scroll. So a very dreamlike energy that is also about planning and visualizing what's next, which makes perfect sense again with the new moon. This is also very hermity energy, by the way. So it's a lot about I'm going to begin to plan, I'm going to begin to create, I'm going to begin to dream, I'm going to begin to have these realizations through the self, right? It is through me accepting what is and accepting myself and recognizing myself that a lot of this energy is going to begin to start to transform. And then we have the Queen of Raphael. And so Raphael, a lot to do again with healing energy. So we're sticking with that healing theme. We've got dolphins in the background telling me that my throat chakra was not off. So still around communication, still around the truth, a lot of water. So this is telling me that we're probably going into the emotions, the heart space, and we've got the green. So chances are this is heart. It says, follow your heart, a love of home and family, trustworthy psychic information. So again, a return to trusting yourself through your intuition, through the heart, versus a pattern that may be showing up for many people this week. I know it has shown up for me already today, is around doubt, around questioning, and uncertainty. So these are kind of like some of the lower vibrational mental faculties. And they oftentimes, our emotions, when they get tripped up, we shift into our head. This is a natural thing. It's like I don't know what's going on here, so I'm going to go into my head. But then the head is like doesn't really know how to process this because there's no intuition there. This is meant to support the intuition. It's not creating the intuition. So perhaps, right, the guidance that you are actually seeking, the depth of your gifts, all of that is in this. Let's return back into the heart space. And then we have birthing a new age, similar to what I just kind of said. Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being, which you are very much doing. Uh, we've been doing over the entire 2024. But as soon as you, again, you begin to see things differently, you see things differently. So that energy very much supported by this new moon in Capricorn as well, which is probably, honestly, hitting up some of these mental faculties, these mental structures that have not been super supportive to our psychic and intuitive information and our emotions. Now we have the Five of Scrolls coupled with Five of Gabriel. And so when we talk about Gabriel, again, we're talking about the throat chakra. Whew. Five of Scrolls. So once again, we have higher consciousness. We have Excalibur's blade. My eye is itching all of a sudden. And we have the stone, which is usually like cold hard truth, the reality of the situation. Oh my gosh, excuse me. This is like really itching. Okay. So, okay. This is almost like sacrificing higher consciousness for people, for life. Okay. There's a couple of things coming in. One of the things that's coming in is actually around a story. So I read this story to my son on Christmas Eve, and I don't remember the book right now, but it's this beautiful children's book. And essentially, I'll give you the cliff notes. There was an angel who went to God who said, I know I'm the light. And God's like, yes, you're the light. And the angel is like, so what makes me special? And he was like, well, there's lots of special things about you. Like being kind is special, being compassionate is special, being forgiving is special, being loving is special. But and then he shows him all of the angels standing behind him. He goes, but they're special too. And so this angel says to God, well, I want to experience myself being the light. I want to experience myself being this special part of the light. And he said, and I've decided what part of the light I want to experience myself as. And God says, okay, what is it? And he says, I want to experience myself being forgiving. And God says, okay, well, here's the thing. How can you experience yourself being forgiving if you're already forgiving and there's nothing to forgive? And so the angel's a little perplexed and he's like, but I want to experience myself as this. And God said, well, the only way for you to experience it is to experience the thing that needs to be forgiven. And so this other angel comes forward and says, I will help you. And the angel's so excited, like, oh my God, you're going to help me. And the other, he's like, what are you going to do? And the angel's like, well, I will come back with you on your next life. And I will do something to you that you will need to forgive. And the angel's so, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I want to experience myself as forgiveness. And so in this process, this other angel starts to get dense and dark and dense and dark and dense and dark. And the frequency of this angel is changing and changing. It's collapsing its energy and becoming the dark. And as this is happening, the angel says to the other angel, the one who wants to experience itself as forgiveness, says, just promise me one thing. And anything, right? I'll do anything if you're going to come to my life and you're going to help me see my, experience myself as forgiveness. I will do anything. It says, in the moment of insult, and the moment I do the thing that you will need to forgive, just remember who I am. And the angel says, oh, yes, of course I will. And God reminds, the little angel that decided it want to experience itself as forgiveness, reminded that angel, just remember, I only send you angels. And so this feels very, very pertinent for some odd reason with this card. Perhaps there has been, and we've got it with the Five of Gabriel, which says, a challenge you can resolve, withdraw from the drama of others, have patience with yourself and those around you. It feels like perhaps there has been some sort of conflict. It could be internal, it could be external. There could be something around I'm getting other people, whether this is family, whether this is friends, whether this is parents, there's other people there is some sort of a conflict between honoring myself and the other people. And there's this energy of sacrifice. Like, I don't want to have to sacrifice myself, but I also don't want to have to sacrifice other people. And so this is reminding us, number one, that the whole point of higher consciousness, the whole point of experiencing yourself, the whole point of having somebody do something to you that you need to have forgiveness for is so you can experience higher consciousness. And so a lot of times the people who are creating the insult, the people that we are having conflict with, the ones that we are frustrated by or think that we are sacrificing parts of ourselves for, are actually the ones who are giving the gift of ourselves back. And so can you remember that they are an angel just as much as you are, even if they don't always look that way? Can you remember that they are light just as much as you are? So can you sacrifice your higher consciousness in order to actually receive higher consciousness? Can you sacrifice the mental process that might be happening in your head about what's right, what's wrong, how things should or should not be, and begin to see things through love and compassion and acceptance and recognize that we can let go of these trivial pursuits, this hierarchy, this I keep getting like almost like standing like, on the stone, right? Can we let this go and begin to recognize God only sends you angels. And the whole point of everything we're doing is to reconnect with ourselves, with each other, to live our life, right? So higher consciousness doesn't become the goal. Life delivers us higher consciousness. Our connections and our relationships deliver us higher consciousness. So it is not about how many people can I get out of my life, and so it's just me. It's how can I live my life with these other people knowing they're a gift, even when I don't love the gift when I first get it, or even if I don't love the gift that keeps coming, because chances are whatever you're experiencing has been a repetitive thing. It's a repetitive, and you might be at the end of your rope. And usually at the end of your rope means, hello, time for a breakthrough. Hello, time to learn the lesson. Hello, time to flip the page and change the story and recognize that there is another higher truth that is available. That might be challenging. Even as I'm listening to this, I'm like, oof, okay, okay. They're hitting us hard this week. I want to go ahead and say that. We have dreamer energy, magic carpet, sort of this boundless energy here. It's very playful. It's a very imaginative. Again, this is like very feminine, flowy, um, creation, creativity, full of ideas kind of energy. Sometimes these ideas, full of ideas, sometimes are not the ideas that are actually aligned with our truth. So now we want to begin to sift and we want to clear out everything that actually we think, yes, this. And it's like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I have been thinking this, and it is because it is related to patterns. Perhaps also, this is to remind us that things are the way you imagine them to be. So, for example, when we are here with the sacrifice energy, or when we're dealing with the conflict, we are perceiving them as we imagine. We're perceiving the situation as we imagine. We are creating a whole new world, but we have also created the world that we have been in. It's all created. And people around us are helping us create that. And the environment is helping us create that based off of our directive, based off of what we have decided to be true. So, can you reimagine this whole new world? Can you decide that it gets to be different and at the same time, it gets to be the same? Play with that idea for a moment. Ah, and it comes with play. So, have fun. Right? Remember, it's not just about the work, as we've been kind of alluding to in this. It's not just about the work. We're doing all this to live our lives. We're doing all this to be in relationships, to experience love and abundance and all of the things. So if we make the focus the higher consciousness, when do we get to the connection and the fun and the play and the all of those other things? Life still has to happen. It can't just be this. So don't forget, the idea is not to push life and people and all of these things away. It's to begin to embrace. Embrace with boundaries. But you create those. And it's with the chariot. So we have Archangel Metatron a lot. So we're seeing a lot of light here. So perhaps some light body activation, some restructuring around the Merkaba. And he's got the Merkaba lit up here on his chariot. Determination, self-control, career advancement, acknowledgement, and success by others. So again, this is sort of leading us down that pathway as I'm talking about. We're coming out of the head, back into the heart, beginning to learn how to work with our emotions and our psychic and our intuitive abilities, beginning to approach other people, our life, ourselves with the compassion, with the love, with the intuition, and clearing out some of these patterns that have had us in the lower vibration of the masculine, not in the divine masculine, in the lower vibration of the masculine. Um, as well as beginning to recognize that we can learn to work with the emotions. Oftentimes, people don't feel great about working with the emotions, so we escape into the head. And so it's learning how to trust yourself. I am safe here. I can navigate my emotions, and I can do it actually quite well. And then I'm hearing the flip side of that. For some of you, it is these emotions that have been clouding your ability to see things clearly. Oh, okay. We got another little thing in there. The emotions clouding our ability to see things clearly through the higher consciousness. If this is not a backwards, windy, inside out reading, I don't even know what to say right now because I'm a little bit like, are we up or are we down right now? And I have a feeling that's the way this week is going to go. Am I up? Am I down? I'm not clear to get clear, that sort of a vibe. So then we have the Watcher coming in very mystical. This is also similar to the Queen of Cups. So very much about emotions, connection, intuition, flow, clearing stuff off of her. Essentially, this energy coming to really clean things up around the emotions. So really, we're looking at lower vibration energies around the feminine and the masculine, really coming in to be cleared out and moved aside so we can move into union in the higher aspects of the self. This comes with the Star card. This is Archangel Jophiel. She's pouring equally out of both sides. Although, yeah, I mean, I would say she's kind of balanced. She's the masculine and the feminine wings don't look the same. A dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. So it feels like we're clearing, we're coming to a finality, we're coming to a completion in this particular week around these situations. And it is really a lot about making different choices than perhaps you have made before. Unbound. So releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. This can mean a lot of different things. This could mean that literally you're releasing people, but it also doesn't have to be people, as they're telling me. It doesn't have to be that you're actually letting go of people. The moment you let go of the soul contract, the moment you let go of these patterns, all of a sudden it's like the relationship starts anew. It starts on a fresh foot. And so it's not that you have to let people go. I always love to tell people this. It's oftentimes the most challenging relationships you have are the ones that are really here to teach you the most. And they are, if they're repeating and repeating and repeating a pattern, it's like, hello, pay attention, learn the lesson, get the thing, the whole 9 yards. But for some of you, it may actually be letting things go. And again, with the past lives and all of that. And then we have the Raven pop out, and we've got the Raven. And he's got, pearls here. And we talk about the pearls. We're talking about the moon. And when we talk about the moon, this is really that inversion energy, the reflection versus the literal energy. And really, this to me is about synchronicity. So pay attention to the synchronicities that are showing up, whether it's because we're dealing with a lot of lower vibration things that are trying to be moved into higher consciousness, into greater awareness, into greater clarity, into greater truth. And so some of it you may find yourself a little bit like this reading, a little lost in it. Allow the synchronicities to help guide you in the direction. Okay. Ooh, I gotta go figure out what the heck I just said. So that is our reading for this particular week. I have just decided to make a change. I am opening up the Light Mind Mastermind for next year. I originally was going to do it as a full year ascension journey, and something about that was just feeling like no. And so I've officially changed it. It is opening up 222 is going to be an introductory 4-month period, and then it may become open enrollment. That being said, if working through starting right in February 2022, being a part of a group, a community with 3 live calls a month, activations, transmissions, Telegram mastermind, what else is there? Q&As, hot seats. If you want to be supported during a 9 year, 2025, when we're really moving through the completion and you want to be able to know and be on the forefront of where the energy is going and be supported in that, then I would love to hear from you and have a conversation and see if this might be a good fit. Okay, love you so much, and I will see you on next week's energy update.